Yes, so Maggie from Tasmania, in the little island, Heartshaker Island off the bottom of Australia. And I'm not sure how many people were at my plenary this morning. Anyone there at the plenary this morning? Oh, okay.
Everyone except me, sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Just arrived.
So I explained that there was Micro Maggie and there's Macro Maggie. So Micro Maggie is my local work in Tasmania and in Australia, and then Macro Maggie, I'm on the board of the advisory board for a number of state sustainable businesses. So I'm now going to go back to some Micro Maggie work, because in Tasmania, I don't know how many of you know anything about Tasmania. It's a wonderful little island, green island off the bottom of Australia. And we have the Wildlife Society started down there in Tasmania. We have so many protected forests and wilderness areas there, huge amounts of Tasmania. And a lot of good things are done, but things are changing fast there, and it concerns me because we have a lot of fishing was a big industry for us, and apples were a big industry for us. And then 30 years ago, all the apple orchards were grubbed, so because we were getting apples in from Brazil and places. So we've really had to adapt very quickly in Tasmania. And so I'm actually on a group there called WTF 2050, which doesn't stand for what you normally think WTF stands for. It stands for What's Tasmania's Future? What's Tasmania's Future 2050? And I'm very blessed to work with a lady who used to run Greenpeace here in Europe. She's now living back in Tasmania. Also a chap called Saul Estlake, who is a world-renowned economist. So we've got the man dotting the I's and crossing the T's and thinking of things, but he's also really into the environment and things like that. So we're working on a number of projects there, and we need to be really, really careful in Tasmania, because our biggest gift is our natural resources and our wonderful forests. And so we're now starting these salmon farms. So salmon farms all off the east coast, that they run, these poor salmon are got antibiotics, they're not running wild, they're not swimming wild and things like this. So we're shifting really quickly in Tasmania, where we've got lots of lovely vineyards now, where we've got a lot of little boutique industries, but we're also, because of demand and because we have a lot of people coming in, and this is not meant to sound racist at all, but a lot of people coming in now from China, because they know that they can. We had the president of China, Prime Minister, whatever it is, from China coming in about 2 years ago, and he has now decided that it's, instead of bringing all these tourists across to the big island of Australia, they can come to Tasmania and they can buy land at 1/10 of the price that they could buy in New South Wales or anywhere else. And and they've extended the runway out into the harbour, and now they're going to fly jets straight into Beijing down to Hawaii. And we've got to be careful that we have this longer term vision that you have got. But we still have a number of these little projects that we're working on now. One of them I'm involved in was I manifested a gentleman who's got 96 acres. I don't know how you measure your land here in Portugal, but acres. Acres? Okay, well, I don't know what acres are.
A little bit less than an acre.
Okay.
A little bit more than an acre.
Okay. So, well, there's 96 acres, and this man's got this beautiful land, and he really wants to be able to give back to women, in particular, disenfranchised women. And as my Micro Maggie work is working mother's mentor, so I'm working with him with his 96 acres to put on tiny houses and to run the vegetable gardens and things there under permaculture, and to be able to provide these women with a way of forming their own businesses and providing for themselves, and particularly because so many of these women are just so used to just living on social services and things like that. So that's my micro work that I'm doing. Even though I've now come to Portugal to live, I'll still be going to Tasmania, for 2-3 months every year, and I'll still be working very much with WTF 2050. And we hope that we'll still be here in 2050. So now I'll go to some of my macro-Maggie work. As I say, I'm on the advisory board for 6 of the 45 sustainable businesses that my team that I'm working with has funded in the last 2 years, and we plan to fund another 500 in the next 5 years. So the one that I'm going to talk with you because the one that I'm involved with the most, or that I love the most, is zero waste to energy. And we launch our first plant in Birmingham, in England, next week. It's next Wednesday, it goes on stream. And we've already had an order from China for 50 of these, even though it wasn't intentional. And so it gets, we work closely with the landfill sites, and then we take this waste and it's put through, in countries like Norway and some of these other ones, they've got zero waste, but they still have these big chimneys that send a lot of toxins up, okay? So our process is a patented process called pyrolysis, a high temperature thermal treatment system, and the thing that I like the most is that it takes any kind of, except for things like asbestos, but it takes a lot of biofeedstocks, including a lot of hazardous and toxic materials. And the thing that I like the most is tyres are one of the biggest challenges on the planet. This machine eats them for breakfast. It loves them because you get the highest calorific power out of tyres. So we put these through, and the process at the other end, this is what's created. We have solid recovered fuels, we have biocoal, and we have liquid gas and syngas. Now with this first project that is being launched in Birmingham next week, we've got a meeting in next month outside London, in London itself. There's 43 boroughs, right? So 43 little communities, and there's 2,000 landfill sites. So we are meeting with all those 43 boroughs and suggesting to them that we work with them with one of their landfill sites on each of these, and that we put these plants on and next to their landfill sites, and then we make this gas out the other end and then put back onto the grid and make a lot of power out of it. So I used to be the marketing manager of a waste management company 20 years ago, and I can tell you, when I think of what they used to do and put things down underground in these concrete things and put all the nasties there, and it just used to frighten me so much because I knew eventually that they would leak and now there's just no, let me just read here. Quiet and odorless operation, emissions as clean or cleaner than those from burning natural gas, no byproducts requiring disposal, qualifying for inland waste certification. So that's just one of the projects that we're working on. And the other thing I like about this project too is you've got your global waste management crisis, and we need this essential shift to renewable energy, so we're doing both with this one project. So the other one that I really like is that we're working on is the simple drinking water, where it is a system of filtering water, no matter how disgusting and dirty the groundwater is, we can put it through the system and no electricity is required. And we also are working with some alternative power projects. The IP, the intellectual property for them, comes out of Portugal, and it's a company called Omniflow, we're looking into, Omniflow. And so my role now, coming to Portugal to work with this team, is to start a foundation called Free Power and Water. Now I've been waiting a long time for this to be launched, and we're very nearly ready to do it. So Free Power and Water. So with the profits that we're making from some of these projects that we're doing around the world, we will then be providing these drinking water systems, some free power and microloans, and going into various rural areas, we'll choose them, in India, in Africa, and also with the Aboriginal community in Central Australia, various in Australia, And so, hence the name Free Power, because that's recycling at its best. Getting your profit from your social entrepreneurial businesses and putting it back. And that's where Micro Maggie, Working Mothers Mentor, will be helping the mothers in these villages to stay in their villages. Because so many of them are leaving and the family system and the community system is breaking down. So we want to be able to assist them to stay put and stay in their villages and to start their businesses there. So I'm very blessed that the work that I do, I can do online. I remember a couple of years ago when I went back to Tasmania when my mother got so ill, I said to one of my clients, I said, oh, I'm not going to be able to work for you anymore. And he had this dry Welsh sense of humour. And he said, Maggie, you know you can do what you do if you're sitting in a bath. And I said, what? And he said, as long as you've got your phone and as long as you've got your laptop, you can do it. You can be organising, you can be consulting, you can do it. So hence, I've now come, and based on my office, I've got an office in Villamora. I'm going to be moving to Bulikim in 2 months' time, and there I will have my little cottage, and I've already found a place, and I'll be growing my vegetables, and I've got an organic garden 2 minutes away. And eventually I will be setting up my own. I used to have an organic farm many years ago that we used to run under permaculture, and so the long-term plan is to do all that again. So I hope that was on topic.